Welcome to Estonian Business School webinar. Today we are going to talk about Business Innovation Master Program. So first of all, a few facts about EBS. EBS is one of the most oldest business universities in the Baltic region, and we established in 1988. And the other interesting fact, what we are the most entrepreneurial. What it means is that we have been doing entrepreneurship education over the last 28 years and running business incubation programs over the last 16 years. And the third fact, which is most important for the students internationally, is that we are the most international university in Estonia, which means that we have about 30% of the student body is international and about 20% of the faculty is international. And the third or the fourth option, actually, what we have today is that we have over 30 partner universities which have the highest accreditation in the world. In total, we have 70 partner universities. One interesting fact, the more we are running two campuses. One campus in Tallinn, Estonia, and another one is in Helsinki, which was established 2011. And in the Helsinki campus, we teach bachelor program and master program. Business innovation program is purely taught in Tallinn, which is the main campus actually in the region. So the Helsinki campus, of course, it's an interesting one because we have been running over the last 4 years, and in Helsinki campus, really we are situating in a very inspiring, innovative business environment, which is Tehnopolis Ruoholahti, in the center of really the business. So EBS actually running studies in 3 levels: bachelor, master level, and also doctoral level. At doctoral level, we are the only doctoral management program basically in Estonia and one of the few in the region. Also quite unique for the university, what we have is also we have a high school. Basically, we have the whole value chain of education in one house in Estonia. So, alumni. Alumni in Estonian Business School is really recognized and has a really high level internationally. About 22% of our alumni actually working in abroad, which is also international enterprises. And if you look at the total alumni body, then about half of the alumni working for international companies, which is really high percentage. And if you look at what are the positions actually what they are working for, then they are working for top management level or middle management level, and also half of the alumni is actually working for a top specialist positions. The positions like innovation manager, marketing top specialist, or even a financial top specialist. So, this alumni community is rather active. We have about 2,500 alumni who are really active monthly, basically, and we have very close connection alumni. And through the alumni, we have also very close connection with the business community. Getting now close to the business innovation program, actually what we are really want to tell you about is that this is a really unique program. This is one of the uniquest program in the region, definitely, and a few similar programs we have in the world. Business innovation program is basically a program where you are starting your new venture from your idea, and you will end up the venture starting in the market. You may not end up starting in the market, but basically you have gone through all the most important steps from idea to basically going to market strategy. The uniqueness, one of the unique aspects of business innovation program is you study in teams. When you start 1st of September, you start in teams. When you graduate, you're still in teams, basically running your master thesis. Writing a master thesis in teams, it seems very easy, but definitely it's not, because it's a teamwork again. So you study in teams and you work on real life project. The project is either new venture or startup, in today's very common word, or a new venture, it means corporate innovation project. You either bring your own idea, you get your students into the teams, and you're really going to work throughout the 2 years with your innovative idea. Or you are coming from the company side, you will bring an innovative idea from the company, from big corporation, for example, and you work with a corporate innovation idea, again in teams. When you go back at work, Basically, you have developed something what is valuable for company, and more important, you have learned the whole process actually. What does it mean to take it idea from the beginning of the kind of the birth of idea to the final end, basically launching in the market or within a company. So there are three main aspects. One is experimental. Basically, you work like in a laboratory. We use a lean methodology quite often, but we use also other innovative approaches in order to build your idea into successful products. Experimental means that it's like a lab. You are working, you are testing, you're meeting the customers, you are asked to go out from the classroom to meet the customers, you learn how to fail. This is something very, very essential. The best time to fail is at university, then you know how to start up again when you're again in the industry. Team approach, I already explained, and team mentoring and coaching. You will also have mentors and coaches. Definitely you're going to run into trouble with the teamwork, because sometimes the team kind of personalities, the ideas, the things, you have a kind of collapse very often. But teams, they also have to manage themselves. If you cannot manage the team, the conflict themselves, we have the coaches or mentors that can help you, which is really in the case of the real life. Basically, we're simulating real life case in the business school. And the three main steps in those kind of experimental way you are going to study and work is that first of all, validating idea. First semester, you really work hard on idea validation. And what does it mean? Basically, you get the idea validated, talking to customers, and you really get an innovative toolbox. Innovation tools that really you can use in real life. The second term, you are going to test your product concept, and you're going to build a prototype. Building a prototype is hard work, but building a prototype requires also learning very practical things. And this means that in the second semester, we're going all to the CERN, which is one of the biggest and most important scientific centers in the world, situated in Geneva. And there you have 1 week, 95 hours innovation workshop, how to build a prototype with 4 to 5 international universities, and you do it in interdisciplinary teams. Really challenging, but really rewarding. And the third stage is actually go to the market, where you're going to practice and learn everything that it takes to marketing, IP, sales, all these aspects, what any kind of idea really needs, how to get to the market, how to launch the idea finally. So, if we look at the subjects are divided into 3 semesters. Those subjects are chosen in a way that they support the 3 stages. Idea phase, important subject. This product development phase, we have a specific subject for negotiation, pricing, product development, etc. And the third stage, where you have the go-to-the-market strategy, then of course we talk about finance, we talk about marketing, intellectual capital, all these kind of aspects. Which means that every stage in your innovation development, product development, is supported by different subjects, because those things you need to learn how to implement. And you all implement on your real life project. You don't work really on cases, but all the time you work on real life projects. It does mean that basically you have kind of workshop style, seminar workshop style, which is an innovation program actually what are you going to do. And if you look at now on a screen, basically what you see, the number of lecturers. And who are the lecturers? We see that you have most of the lecturers, about 80% of them are international lecturers. They come from the different companies, most of them are company backgrounds. Global companies, pricing, for example, Simon Kucher, one of the top companies in the world, consulting agency. And those guys are very dedicated, committed, bringing the real life experience and teaching you how to implement in your projects. What's more important, they bring you also the conceptual phase. What is the basic concepts actually? Because without concepts, it's nothing to implement. And that's why they will bring you academic knowledge, but also how to apply academic knowledge in your project. And a few words about Innovation Week in CERN. Innovation Week in CERN, this is prototyping a business model. You have developed a business model in the second term, and in the second term the question is, what does it mean to take it from the model on the paper to some physical product or service in hand. And this is something that you need to learn, how to work with IT guys, creative guys, and how to build something together. It's like a kindergarten, but you really have the toys, have the real life projects or products. And therefore, we really traveled to 1 week for the CERN. It's the beginning of mid-January, and this is something very distinguishing and very special part of the program. So, there is also one example. If you want to really follow how entrepreneurial, how innovative are the students at the Estonian Business School, then just follow the link shown on the screen. And this link really gives you a 3-minute video, good idea, what can you do already at the bachelor level. This example is basically done at the bachelor level. Now we go to the master level, which is even a step higher. And really look at this example. This is a company, started second year bachelor, and at the moment they are already, let's say, graduated and a global company. Admission, very important for you. Admission is that you basically need to go for the admission website. It's a platform, estonia.dreamapply.com. You will submit your application, you pay 100 euros, and then of course upload necessary documents. Among the necessary documents, it's very important your diploma, which is educational documents, actually the passport copy, but of course we are studying in English, we learn everything in English. Your proof of English has to also be shown in uploaded documents. And therefore the IELTS, TOEFL, IPT, Cambridge test, all are valid actually for this application. So deadlines. Deadline is April. If you are non-EU student, 10th of April is a deadline actually when you can, the last day you can apply. Submit your data, your application, and then we are going to proceed it. Those students who are from EU or the non-EU countries who doesn't require the visa to Estonia, those students can still apply up to 1st of July 2017. And that's, these students have a little bit more time, but of course, the more advanced you are, the more early you apply, the better it is. And many students, of course, are asking, can we work during the study? Yes, you can, but we always warn students and kind of warning that study is a first. If you can work beside the study so that your work doesn't interfere your studies, then yes, you are welcome. If the work will interfere your studies, you basically lose a permission to stay in Estonia, which you probably don't want. Therefore, really take seriously the studies first, and you will also find something to work somewhere with also, very importantly. So, thank you for this presentation, for the attention. And at the moment, I will introduce Sirja. Sirja is alumni of Business Innovation Program, and Sirja will give you a brief view understanding what does it mean being a student, and now where this program has taken her finally.
Thank you, Toomas. It was a very good presentation, and it is a good feeling to continue from here. As Toomas already mentioned, my name is Sirja Sulagatko, and I graduated the Business Innovation MBA this summer in 2016. And I was invited here to tell you why did I choose this program, as well as what has it given me. And before I go into this topic, I would like to tell you what I did before entering the Business Innovation MBA, because it explains why I chose this program. So I was about 10 years I was in the fashion and clothing field. And I was lucky because I got the opportunity to work in very different companies, starting from manufacturing to wholesale to retail. And when I was working in these companies, I realized that they have very different profiles, yet they have something in common. And the thing that they had in common was, and still is, that they are struggling with the changes coming from the environment. And by the changes in the environment, I mean customer expectations, the economical changes, competition, as well as not to forget the technological changes. And therefore, after making this observation, I realized that what these companies actually need, they need people who can help them to cope with this change. They need people who can help them to innovate and to bring new products and services to the market that will be successful today and also tomorrow. And therefore, I decided that I want to become that person. So I started to search the web for programs that would meet my requirements, and luckily I ended up on the EBS website, where they declared that in autumn they will launch a program called Business Innovation. And when I was studying the program description, I realized that it's meeting exactly what I was looking for. And the thing that captured my attention the most, or the thing that I also think is the biggest advantage of this program, is that it has this hands-on study method. As Toomas already mentioned, we were able to put everything that we learned into practice immediately. So just to give you a short example, we were having negotiation class, and during the class, through lecturing as well as through practicing with our fellow classmates, we learned that the most important thing about negotiations is to know who is the person sitting in front of you, and to know what is the motivation of that person to be in the same room with you. So knowing this, we proudly went to have the first meeting with our potential customer. So me and my partner, we were both working in the same startup. We entered the room and realized that among the one person who had agreed to meet us, there were 9 more people sitting behind the table. And so we started politely to introduce ourselves. And somehow we missed to ask for the introduction round from their side, meaning that we just started to sell our product. And well, we ended up shooting in a random direction because we didn't know who these people were. We didn't know what was their need. And most importantly, we didn't know who would be the person in charge to decide whether to buy our product or not. So to make a conclusion, it was a complete failure. And this, and among and all other similar experiences, the painful and shameful ones are the ones that I'm actually most grateful about, because I'm sure that neither today nor tomorrow I will make the same mistakes again. And if you would ask me what is the gain from the overall program of business innovation, then actually this insight came to me just a couple of months ago when I entered a program of mentoring. And so before applying to this program to become a mentor, I questioned myself because I wasn't sure if I actually meet the expectations of that profile, or if I can help and mentor the young entrepreneurs. Because I don't have the 25 years of experience in my backpack as an entrepreneur. But I took the courage and I stepped in, and I'm very grateful that I did, because after the first day of discussions with the entrepreneurs, I realized how much I have gained from Business Innovation MBA. And I remembered something that was told to us during one of our first sessions. One of our lecturers told us that the people working in corporations and new ventures that are in charge of bringing new products and services on the market, it's not that they aren't smart. They know their customers and they know the customer expectations. It's just that they are missing this framework where to put all this information. And that is the reason why sometimes the things that they are thinking to themselves or they are presenting to other people might become confusing. And so I realized that luckily now I have this framework. And even if I don't have the right answers to some questions, at least I know the right questions to be asked at the particular stage of a project. And so before finishing, I would like to tell you something about personal growth. Because when I entered the Business Innovation MBA, then I was focused on studying business and innovation. And when I graduated and I was sitting at the graduation ceremony, I realized that the person sitting there was a completely different person to the one who had applied 2 years ago. So I think that when we were pushed to go out of our comfort zones and to go to the field and to test and experiment and fail, we learned something new about business innovation as well as we learned something new about ourselves. So if you are the person who would like to get to know something new about yourself, and you would like to be the person who has the up-to-date skills and know-how to help the companies and new ventures to launch products that will be successful on the market tomorrow, then probably business innovation at EBS is the right program for you. And if you have any other questions, you can search me up in LinkedIn and you can contact me there and we can continue the discussion. So thank you very much for listening, and this is it. Have a good day. Thank you.